Hi, my name is Abby Landry and I am a self-published author. I wanted to start a page to explain how I did what I did at 55 years old, which was last year. I changed my entire life and started publishing the books I had been working on because I never knew how to self-publish. So I'm going to teach you how. After much research, I learned that I did not need a publishing company. I could do it myself, and guess what? It didn't cost a penny. Not one penny. So I'm going to show you how step by step, and here we go. Okay, so there are some guidelines. All books published through KDP have to be in PDF form. Even if it's just a kid's book with pictures, it still has to be PDF form. Also, your ebooks need to be in EPUB form. They will take a Word document, but lots of times as it's publishing, before you can review it, it changes the format and it doesn't look like what you've submitted. It makes the pages kind of off kilter. The picture that might go with this page is on another page, so EPUB is the best way to go, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So let's get started. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is you'll have to set up a KDP account. This is for publishing on Amazon KDP. So you'd create a KDP account. It will talk you through it. It has step-by-step instructions. You will be asked to give your social security number, or if you have a separate tax ID number. They'll ask for your bank account and your routing number, how you want to get paid your royalties, and they will link all of that to your account. Once your account is set up, then you can go into your account to start your books. So I'm going to go ahead and go into mine. Oh Lord, hold on. So now I'm in my account. So the first thing you'll do if you're going to start a new book, you're going to go to your bookshelf, and that's going to show you where you can create a new title or series. I have one that we've been messing with. It's just one of my kids' books. I have several different genres, but this is one that I really wasn't too fond of, so we've been messing around with this one. So we're going to continue. I unpublished it so that we could do the setup again, but I'm going to start you from scratch, and then we'll pull that book back up. So what you'll do is create new title or series, and it'll let you say we're going to do a paperback today. Now, you can pick what language, but I'm in the United States, so I'm picking English. This is where you'll type in your book title, any subtitle if you have it. Now, if this book is going to be a series, like My Snooks and Feeny is a series, it's about my grandbabies and their pets, so I would hit yes here. But if it's just your first book and it's just one, you just skip that area. Edition number, that's again if it's a series. Now, the author, you'd put your name, your last name. Contributors, if you had a co-author, anyone who worked on the book with you that you'd want to acknowledge, you can add them here. This is where you'll put in a quick book description. Not quick, it should be detailed. What I like to do in this area is what is on the back of my book. So everything that describes the book and what it's about, and all of the eye-catching, whimsical things or interesting things that you want to say. I say whimsical because this is a children's book. You'd want to put it in this area. I own the copyright. Yes. Even if your book does not have a copyright, you still, in order to publish, have to click that. I would suggest getting a copyright, even though Amazon KDP does not require it, but people will steal your work, so just want to give you a heads up there. Alrighty, so down here, like I said about the copyright, you definitely want to copyright your work. Lesson learned the hard way, which I discussed in one of my other videos. Anyway, it's going to ask you if you have any sexually explicit images or title. If you do, say yes. If you don't, mine is a no. You'll put the minimum ages that you want this for. If it's an adult book, I would just say 18 plus. Or if it's something that's not going to be interesting to young adults, you kind of just know your age group for your target audience. Primary marketplace is going to be Amazon.com. And then down here, you'll pick your categories. This is basically... maybe it won't let me do it since I didn't fill in the other spaces. But your categories are going to be where your book appears, like how, if it's a self-help book or if it's a romance novel. And I'll go back into my book and show you what this screen actually looks like. You'll also do your keywords. Your keywords here are what you want them to search. So mine are like children's book, bedtime story. Yours might be romance novel, women's books, women's empowerment. It just depends on what you want your book. If you're in the library, what you're looking for, those are the words you need to have here. So what you think someone's going to be able to find your book under, that's everything you want to put in this section.
Publication date and release date are the same. Yes. Release my book for sale now. Yes, because what happens is once you submit everything for approval, then they're going to crank your book out once it's approved and ready. This one's been previously published, so mine's going to be a little bit different. But what I'm going to do now is go back into my book so I can show you what these fields actually look like. Okay, again, like I said, this is just one of my children's books, but I didn't want to mess with any of my novels because I don't want to mess up the format. All right, so this is basically the fields we were just looking at. English, Snooks and Feeny Get Baby and Butters, no subtitle. And you see how once this has been published, I can't go back and say I want to change the title or change something in it. You can't. You have to publish a whole new book. This is part of a series, so you'll see right there where it says series title. This is edition number 2. I am the author. There were no co-authors or contributors. I do my own graphics, I do my own editing, I do my own book cover, so there was no one else to mention there. This is the book description we discussed, and this is just something that is on the back of my book, and that's what I suggest because you always want to put your, your most cute little or your most attractive description on the back. I own the copyright. No sexually explicit images. This is basically from ages 3 to 7. All right, so we're going to get back down here to categories. Again, like I said, primary marketplace is Amazon.com. I took one of my categories out so I can kind of show you how these get entered. So categories, mine is children's books, animals, baby animals. So I'm going to enter a new category. So add another. That way you can look at, these are the categories you have to choose from. So I just choose children's because that's this book. But there's so many categories and then subcategories to kind of fine tune what you want people to be able to search your book under. So I'm going to go back here under children's books. And this one is animals. And let's see if I can find family pets. Pets, here we go. All right, and it's fiction. And I'm going to hit save categories. So now I've got my 3. You can only add 3. And then low E content books are like journals, things that you fill in the blanks. This is not one of those, so you just skip this area. I do have some though. Then here are your keywords. So your keywords for this book: bedtime stories, beginner readers, puppies, family pets, and new baby, since they were getting a new baby. And these keywords, you basically pretend like you're in a bookstore and you're trying to find a book. What categories would you think it would be under? This is what you put here because that's what people are going to be looking for. My original publication date was last year, so I have to leave that as it is, but yours will be a blank space there because it's not published yet. You hit save and continue. You're going to open up to a new screen and it's going to ask you if you want an ISBN number. Absolutely, because this is how you track your book sales. This is how people can order your book. So they don't have to just order it from Amazon. They can plug in your ISBN and it will send them a link to show where your book is available. Libraries use the ISBN numbers as well. Now, as far as paper, on my regular books, I just use black and white interior white paper, the cheapest that there is. You can use tan paper, cream paper, it's up to you. But when you have a children's book or something, a cookbook, anything that has colored graphics, especially brightly colored graphics, they're going to prompt you to use this paper. At first, I didn't know that. And I kept wondering why my book wouldn't publish. And I had to email support to ask them, and they said it's because of the graphics that I had. So I have to use a little bit more expensive paper when you have these. This book was originally published in 8.5 by 11. Again, this was my second project, and I really wasn't aware of the guidelines. I really wish I would have done it in 6 by 9, but I cannot go back and change it now. They just won't allow it unless I republish a whole different book. Bleed settings. Now, this one I had no bleed because the pictures and the words inside of the book were inside of the margins. If you want bleed, like if your words and your pictures go off the page, you definitely want to do bleed. But I do pick it now, not for the insides, but for my covers, because it will keep you from having a margin on your cover, which I will do a tutorial on formatting your cover, because a lot of these videos that show you how to publish with Amazon KDP, they don't go through this section right here. and it can make or break you. It was almost my undoing because there's so many guidelines within that little section that nobody told me about. This book I picked glossy because it's a kid's book. Upload manuscript. Now, remember I told you that Amazon KDP wants a PDF document. Draft to digital requires a Word document, so keep all of your versions. You'll upload your manuscript, and there it is. Then launch cover creator. I'm going to briefly open this so you'll know what I'm talking about. Even if you upload a cover you already have, it's still going to format it for you. So I hit launch cover creator, and I have already entered my graphic for my book cover. And again, like I said, I'll do another separate video just on this part. This book has 33 pages, so it has a narrow spine. You see this little guideline here? That's why my name and title are not here in this little area, because it's too skinny. But this is where you'll format and you'll put your author photo, your author bio, and your book description. This is what I described back in the other field where it says description of your book. And this is my cover. You can change the colors, you can change the graphics, you can change everything. And it will also create a book cover for you, but I just don't prefer those. But we're going to go ahead and hit preview. It's just going to show me my cover because it's already in there. Okay, and then there's the cover. I'm just going to hit save and submit. All right, and that's just going to take you straight down to your pricing. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have AI generated content? If you do have AI in your book, it's going to know, so you have to say yes or it's going to reject it. If you have had AI write your book for you, it's going to know. So you have to just recommend being honest because the computer will know. I've uploaded a new manuscript and book cover. Yes, you have to hit yes if you want to continue. And it will force you to launch previewer before it will let you finish. This is where everything you've entered, your front cover, your back cover, the inside of your book, it's going to show you here. And I suggest, even if your book is 250 pages, look at every single page, because there's nothing worse than publishing a book and you've got 3 or 4 blank pages in there because somehow the format glitched, and then it's just not a good look. So always look at every single page and make sure that everything's okay. Also, if there are any errors in the beginning, over on the left side of the screen here, in just a minute, it will show you. So we'll let this open up. Sometimes it takes a second. And it also does a spell check for you. Even though you may have edited it already, it will still do an additional spell check. Okay, and then this is your book. So over here, if there were some issues, it would tell you issue on page 4, page 8, or page 17, or all of them. But so far, like I said, it's been previously published, so there's no issues. This is what the front and back cover look like. There's your ISBN number. Yay, you're almost there. And then this is your, remember I told you about bleed? If these words were going to go off the page or the pictures, then I would have had to pick bleed, but I had them within the margins. So that's what that was talking about. Now, I'm not going through all of these pages because I have already published it and we're actually not republishing it today. It's just for teaching purposes, but I'm going to hit approve. That was when my daughter was having her second baby. All right, I hit approve to take you down to pricing. So we're going to hit save and continue. Now, this is probably going to shock some of you, but children's books on Amazon, your royalties really are very low because the color print. Now, your profit margin will be much higher on your regular novels that don't have a bunch of picture graphics, but this is it. This book was priced at $11.11. It cost $4.20 to print it. This is my royalties. I mean, it is what it is. This is why I publish on multiple platforms, but this is just Amazon KDP because it's the most popular and I wanted to get my name out there. So with these books, you will get your butt chewed off as far as royalties go, but it's worth it to get your name known. Now these are the different countries it's going to sell your book in, your different territories. Some of the money shows you in euros. You can request a proof of your book at this time. You can request it after you hit publish. They will send you a proof within 24 hours. Well, they'll process it. You get the book usually within 48 hours to see if everything looks the way you wanted it to look. And then you'll hit publish a paperback book. I'm not going to hit publish because we're not publishing this one, but you will get prompted to a page that shows you that your book is published, it's in publishing, and they will let you know once it's ready. And then you'll get an email saying that your book is actually ready. I don't want to save this because we're not republishing. Then this book will show up on your bookshelf. Now, the other day I did a tutorial with the Kindle book, and I republished it, but I'm going to take it back down because I don't want this one out, because like I said, I wasn't very fond of the graphics. But these are the books that I have, and so that's pretty much it. So you'll just wait for your publication, and then you're a published author.